You to help us welcome Patty Peterson.
Beautiful, thank you. Well, we didn't do a mic check, so how are we doing? Is it good? Are we all good? Okay, great. Good morning, everybody. I come to you with a weary heart because I've been that busy. I was at the Dakota last night, and oh my gosh, did we have fun. Woo! That was a blast. But I came home, and I always come to this place here where I wonder, okay, now what can I talk about that's going to mean something different or have a different edge to the theme that you've had all month? And so I kind of worry about that when I get here. And I love how spirit just sort of takes over, kind of what I'm saying, and I'm trusting the process more of just showing up and having some notes and having a couple of songs, and yes, I am going to sing today, ready to go. So, and I didn't bring a piano player, although I love bringing piano player. I just thought, oh, I got a couple of tracks that'll just work perfectly for today, so excuse me. There's something about hydration, singing for a lot of hours and then coming, to a situation like this, and I get kind of nervous and makes you get very thirsty. But be the change. How many have been here throughout the course of the month with the theme being be the change? Okay. So you've had a lot of different takes on it, right? And I have been thinking a lot about Be the Change, and I want you to know that I was in Below years ago and found one of those refrigerator magnets, nice flat refrigerator magnets, and it says, be the change you wish to see in the world. Well, when I started my spirituality path well over 20 years ago, that was something that really spoke to me, really resonated. And no matter what's gone on, if I've had my grandchildren or my children's picture on my refrigerator, an piece of artwork, whatever, I have always had that in the corner of my refrigerator. Even when I put the house on the market a couple of years ago, you know how they say you got to depersonalize your house? That stayed. Yes, it did, because it's just that simple reminder that we all have these dreams and these goals of what we envision our world to be. And if we don't start with it with ourselves, it's really hard for us to assume that the universe is going to fix all that out there so that I feel better, right? If it doesn't start with us, then it doesn't really have the opportunity to create that energy and move that forward from within us into our communities, into our states, into the United States, into the world. It does have to start with us. When I think about that, what pops into my head is the times that I would have on, I believe it's Dr. Howard Martin, who has created the heart math. Are you familiar with this? Heart math, you can just go Google it. But I remember this many years ago, when I was doing talk radio, that the whole concept was that we do have an energy field around our bodies. Now, being that you come to Lake Harriet Spiritual Center, you probably know that already. An aura, an energy field, depending upon how we're doing in life, oftentimes our energy field can maybe be a little more closed in, or it can be definitely wider. Just depends on, I think, where you are. You're always there. You can trust that your energy field is always there. And you're going to be touching people's lives. So their theory is that what you are feeling in your heart, believe it or not, where you might not feel very energetic, and you might not think, well, my energy's really not reaching out and touching anybody. They say that people within an 8-foot radius of you feel what you are feeling, pick up on your energy, and that you indeed can influence people simply by this particular energetic chemistry that is coming from you. It's heart math. In their studies, they talk about how you go within and you find, if you're in a troubled place, you find a memory that gives you release and relief within your heart. And you hold on to that vibration, and you hold on to that, much like you do in the law of attraction, for, I believe it's something like 90 seconds. And you try to change your energy by remembering that place and softening your heart and doing that. And if you can hold that vision, even for 2 minutes, it really helps to begin to change you. I know that when I was going through a lot of stuff all in one year, about 10 years ago, that, I mean, I felt like I should have a blues track underneath what I was experiencing in life, you know? And what was happening for me was my job was upside down, and my relationship was upside down, and one of my closest cousins, like a brother, had just died. And I was, you know, and at the exact same time I started having heart trouble, more serious heart trouble. So I was really in that place of craziness and disarray. And what happened for me was that when I was let go from my job, when it was closer to a year of healing, that year of processing after my cousin died, I really needed to start healing. And in my mind, I thought I needed to start healing my relationship. Well, the truth is I needed to start healing me. And I went to that place where I felt such gratitude for what we had created together. And that turned into a sense of love for me, and eventually grew into a greater love. And that piece of gratitude, appreciation that I held within my heart began to be how we would recognize each other in our lives together. My husband works from home, my office is at home. Of course, I work outside of the home most of the time, but we really, you got too much of a good thing going on for a little while there because we were in, you know, unrest. But I began to realize that some of those principles of the heart math solution, that whatever is going on inside of you, we really, that belief system that we can energetically affect other people. Earlier this week, there was a news of a spiritual book author that I got to know also while I was doing talk radio, and really loved her sister. They came out of the San Diego area, and the author that I'm going to talk about is Debbie Ford. And I don't know if anybody has done any of her work or read The Dark Side of the Light Chasers or The Right Question, and many of her works that really go into the point of how we heal ourselves so that we can give to others. And I haven't talked to Debbie in a long time. We do an email back and forth once in a while, but truthfully, she was on such a huge illuminated path of helping others that when I began to think about what my talk was going to be like, I had to pull her in. And it was the kind of thing where last October I got one of her mass email blasts, and I read the first part of it, and I didn't read the last part of it, and the last part of it talked about her cancer. And it talked about her cancer and how it really, the medications had totally affected her physical beauty in her own mind. And she talks about how she has made it her business after her recovery from addictions through her 20s and 30s into really figuring out what that place was in her heart that she needed to heal so that she could illuminate other people in their lives. And she really came down to a system that helped tens of thousands of people, whether you were actually in class with her, like I got a chance to be, or even on some of her teleclasses. She was fantastic. She talked very frankly about what she went through. She talked very frankly about how we need to get in touch with that part of ourselves, which is called the shadow, that little voice that you think you need to quiet in your life and not pay attention to, and embrace it. Call that nagging thing, that negative thing in your mind, in your physical being, in your emotional well-being, call it a name. Like, my anger can be Abby. You know, okay, Abby, what do you got to say to me today? So that people would heal parts of their self so that they could become whole, the light and the dark. The dark side of the light chasers is that place where all light chasers, people all want to feel the light. We come to a place like this because we want to be drawn to the light. We want to feel that light. But sometimes there's that dark part of us that doesn't come forward, and we don't acknowledge it. I know I was raised Catholic. We did not talk about that stuff. We went to confession, and you better not do it again, right? Anybody do that? So you didn't really get to talk about all of those things. Now, here was one for me. I grew up kind of heavy, and I battled that all the time in my mind of my appearance and the ridiculing that I would get. And I was really, you know, I had an older brother who was really not very nice about it, and kids on the playground and things like that. And it was just one of those adolescents that was tiny, Then at 5'3", went this way, and then went like this. And I really had a lot of self-esteem issues. And so when I took Debbie's course at the Chopra Center in La Jolla, I really recognized how that voice was coming back for me. And that voice was coming back for me as a reminder to take better care of myself. See the positivity in recognizing that dark side? It's not really the dark side like we would go, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. It's not like that. But it's that part of ourselves that we kind of tuck under the rug, okay? You can make peace with it. You can. And you can have a name for it because it's going to come back. It allows us to walk through life as a whole person. I believe today they're going to re-air on the Oprah network an interview that she did. And this interview that was a part of this email news blast where she talks about how the thing that she probably appreciates the most in life is beauty. And beauty, whether it's the flower, whether it's a particular crack in a vase that you just think is so beautiful. Beauty inside, beauty outside. And that a lot of her work was to help people recognize their own beauty. She really talked about how, we as women, looking at that part of ourselves so that we present ourselves as God's gift and we admire our own beauty. And she was really, really, really torn because of the medications and the treatments. She really wasn't herself anymore. So in that newsletter, she said, I couldn't talk about that part of myself with Oprah. I really couldn't. I couldn't bring that up. I was ashamed. And she said, not until I started working on the things that I was instructing other people to do could I really become whole again. So no matter how much you do this kind of work, there's always those reminders that come up and say, okay, there's deeper work you can do. There's deeper work you can do. Now you might wonder, why do I bring this up? Well, when we talk about be the change, there could be that knee-jerk reaction that a person would have saying, oh, well, what have I got to say? I mean, I say it myself. What could I possibly have to say that could change another person's life? And so you don't try. I mean, I can find myself doing that. I found past tense myself doing that. And her point is, you have to go within, you have to acknowledge all of who you are. Yes, you have to work on yourself. Yes, you bring forth this new enlightened beauty. And you're able to go out into the world and help others. Like the Steve Miller song says, feed the babies who don't have enough to eat, shoe the children with no shoes on their feet, and house the people that are living on the street. Oh yeah, there's a solution. When you think about the oxygen mask theory, the oxygen mask theory is one that they say in the airplane, you put on yourself first. You've heard that, right? And so that you take your breath so that you can in turn help whoever is with you, your children, whomever. And a lot of times in life we need to do that, and we need to be okay with doing that first. And not just continually be out here. I know that in my life I have learned so much about even codependency. Because with that, when you're always wanting to do here, there's an expectation of how is that going to come back to me. If I love that person enough, are they going to love me? If I do this, then it really should, and you think there's a direct link for wherever you're putting your mind, your energy, attention to. But the truth is, it does come back to you. And if you're in that mode, I found out hard and fast that you run out of energy. Because you're not putting yourself in the loop. It's not that you have to totally change, which is what some of the 12-step codependency groups kind of led me to believe. You don't have to change, you have to include yourself. You have to recognize you're powerless over another individual. You have to recognize in spirituality that if you put the love out there, you cannot have an attachment to the outcome of where it's going to come back, right? And we're all old enough in this room where we have seen that happen. Where if I'm directing my energy in a certain way to advance myself or to care, that care might not come back from that person, it might come from another place. And I've begun to trust that process. So, being that it's February, And if I didn't go here with Heart Month and everything, and if I didn't talk about living your gift, which is what came to me after my heart event 6 years ago, I would be amiss in this. You know, living your gift is really getting in touch with yourself and doing all this great work we have chosen to do, everybody in this room choosing to do that work, to continually go for the light, all right? And something that happened to me after the fact, and I was invited here to speak about a year after my incident, which is how I believe this all happened, that I started to become a speaker here, is that I had this incredible thing happen to me where somebody recognized a part of myself that helped me answer a question that I was carrying around. I survived something called aortic dissection, which is what took the life of John Ritter. What's your aorta? I mean, what's an aortic dissection? What is that? I mean, I asked that after my surgery. It actually is something that I had a burst aneurysm, and the aorta is the upside down umbrella handle that feeds your entire body. So luckily for me, there was the correct diagnosis and quick action, and my spirit was willing. I think I got spit back out from heaven. But the rewards have been very fantastic, so it's all good. Anyway, I was singing this church service at one of the Unity churches, and I just love this piano player, Laurie Dock, and we were having a ball together. And there's 2 services, and I was walking up the aisle, and there were these 2 women in particular that were sitting on the edge as though, like, they raised their hand. They said they were new, okay? You know, but this is kind of the thing because we want to get acquainted with whoever is new so we can go, okay, what part of how you heard about us? What's working? Was it the email? Was it, you know, did you just hear word of mouth? Well, anyway, so they were sitting on the edge of their seats, and they were looking at us, even though they said they were new, like they were checking out to see if we were doing it right. I don't know why I was struck by that, but their intention was so different. And I walked by them. I was looking to go have a cup of coffee with my bandmates, and they said, "Patty, I really love the music you played today. It was really fun." And people had been bugging me to write a book about what I had been through. I'm thinking, what could I possibly have to say that would... Everybody's going through changes. What would I possibly have to say that's going to make a difference in somebody's life? See? You like that inner language? I got another one for you too coming up. But they said, "You know what? I love that music." And I said, "Oh, you know what? I did too. And I just am so lucky. You know, music follows everybody, no matter where they are in life, in good times and in bad times. I'm just really lucky I have these platforms in which to sing it on." She says, "No, Patty, you really live your gift." And this zing came over me like, oh, that's what I'm here to remind you of. To live your gift. Okay, now that's pretty simple. How do I tell them to live their gifts? And I thought about it. What is it? What is it about our gifts that sometimes we actually edit in quiet? Good listener, great communicator, wonderful mom, wonderful dad, great friend, really conscious family member, great coworker. You know, it's some things that I think we bypass in our lives. What are the gifts you bring in this soul path with you? And when I thought about it, I thought, you know what would happen if everybody recognized their gifts and worked for the goal of loving themselves and loving their gifts so they get to this place where they don't edit them anymore. And you live in this new consciousness of using your gifts on your soul path so that it also, in turn, reaches out and energetically touches other people. Well, what would that do? It would help your relationships with the people you work with. It would help your relationships with your family and your friends. And I believe most importantly, the one with yourself. And I should have put it in the opposite order, shouldn't I? See? But we also think, you know, a lot of times being in service to others, being the change, making a difference in people's world, that comes first. If you recognize what lives inside of you, what are your gifts? then you become those things and you enhance them, you recognize them, you can speak about them. Oh, I'd love to hear about this thing that you're going through. Come over. Here, let me just put my hands on you and send you some love. Have you read this book to help you? I mean, these are little things. How many times have you all done this? You have, haven't you? But you had to go there first in order for you to learn, grow, then in turn share the wisdom. Right? That's what I think is amazing about going through things in life, is that when you do, there are wonderful resources out there, and that eventually you can become that resource. And you are the change that needs to be happening in the world. Simplest things. I was talking to some friends about being the change, and I just said, yeah, well, that's my topic, and everybody thinks that's a really pretty groovy statement. Be the change you wish to see in the world, Mahatma Gandhi. And it isn't something as Catholic that we really ever talked about, so I think, I gravitated to things like that more. Oh, really? You can think like that? That can happen? That's not God going to sit on the throne and going, you are going to get this. No, it isn't like that at all. You can become that Christ consciousness, whatever verbiage you want to use. You can become that illuminated light, and you can reach out and be that change you wish to see in the world. This is all new in the last 20 years for me, to not only absorb that information, but to live from it. When I was talking to friends this week, when I was back and forth with my friend Debbie Ford's family, it is really a conscious choice to live in that illumination. And they did that. They do that. Ariel was Deepak's publisher for a long time, and then brilliant book author herself. And they have made it their mission to help people with their own light and their own understanding of themselves. And I think to myself, to be able to bare your soul as they have done, as Oprah has done, as I'm sure when you see the example you have done, they become our mentors and don't even realize it, that it really does affect how people are in this world. They make it their mission, they have the resources out there. But then there are the people, like some of my friends that I want to tell you about, that just by hearing what they were up to this week, I was able to really see how they are part of the flow of being the change, okay? I have a 70-year-old friend who, when I had my heart incident, was at my house every day doing my laundry and cooking me food. When you come out of open heart surgery, and you know I'm not a dainty singer, it took me 3 breaths to get through a sentence. She was always, honey, come here, eat something, you have to eat something. Honey, you have to do this. Honey, you have to. I call her the godmother, because believe me, you do not mess with Sue. She's wise. She's been in the trenches. She didn't really have a God-centered way about her. As a matter of fact, she just admitted she didn't believe in God, really, until recently. But let me tell you how she shows up in the world. She's the one who plans, even with surviving a brain aneurysm, that she shouldn't be here either, people's birthdays. She's on elderly waiver. She makes the most gorgeous dinners you're ever going to eat. Oh my goodness, goes out of her way to make a birthday dinner. She has the best laughter, the best wisdom. She's there if you need to cry, and she's there with a stupid joke if you need to laugh. And she was telling me yesterday morning that she has a cousin who was saying, well, I've got this to do, and I've got this to do, and I've got this to do. And she goes, oh my gosh, Tia, you are just so busy doing, I don't do any of that. And she goes, oh, really? I'm this way because of you. And Sue says, what are you talking about? She said, because years ago, you would make it a point to make sure the kids at the St. Joseph's orphanage had presents at Christmas. You would do your part. And it touched me so much that it made me get into volunteer work. So I say this to you because the little things you do, if you just do them out of the goodness of your heart, if you do them because you're in the moment, and, oh, that feels good, I want to do that, You do not know, we do not know how it impacts another person. Sue was telling me that yesterday that she can't even believe that that small thing made an impact on this woman's life, who then in turn has made her life one of giving back. Sue still gives back. Sue's amazing. She goes to the food shelf and she knows I got a kid in college, and there's stuff that they just automatically give her that she won't ever eat. So she goes, hey, I got a bag for your boy in college. I bet he and his roommates would really love that food. I mean, seriously, how sweet is that? It's saltines, you know, things like that. It's really cute. Then last night, our mutual friend came out to see me sing, and she was saying, you know, Sue paid me the highest compliment. And here's another example of how you touch a person's life and you never really realize it. And she said, I said, what is it, Vic? She said, you have changed my life. And this is the same Sue I talked to in the morning. I'm talking to Vic not that many hours ago, 12 hours ago. How have I changed your life? Oh my gosh. She said, because of what you have gone through in your life. You have taught me that there is forgiveness. And if it wasn't because of your faith, you couldn't have had your forgiveness. And you couldn't have held that in your heart to change your scenario. Her scenario, which was one of great betrayal. But through forgiveness and a lot of choosing to do that work, she became this new light, Vic did. And as a result, touched so many lives. She's gracious. She does things for her friends as well. And when I say these examples to you, I want you to recognize how, I do that. Do you do that when you're hearing stories? Oh, well, I do that. We don't really talk about it, but it might remind you, I want to go do that. I want to do that again. I'm a vocal teacher. I'm a vocal coach, I call myself. And most of my students are young, and they're women, young ladies, age 12 to 19. I have one gal who's in my age group, and she just said, I've always wanted to sing, so doggone it, I'm going to do this. And so she arranged it in her life to find the extra funds to come and study. And she brought the house down at our singers showcase. It was really cute. Because she had a message. If you believe in something, go do it. Go do it. One of my students is a darling young girl who's turning 13 today. Her name is Emily. And Emily is the one who created this benefit later today for the homeless. All by herself. Her mother, of course, is a great ally. But Emily has the kind of talent where she was up for a role in Annie on Broadway. But she was looking too old too fast, so she didn't get that role. So she decided, through word of mouth, she learned about me. Totally a gift. Because the girl she learned it from didn't even come to study with me until a year later. Emily has learned and embraces life with such joy and creativity that she's actually shunned. She's over the top happy about life. She's over the top. I'm going to bring her to sing here one day. What about that? I want her to sing for you. Maybe next time we'll create that. Love that idea. Oh, she's just, thank you. You know, she's one of those, thank you. Yes, I love to give back. She was on with John Hines on CCO. Oh, my yes were her answers. Oh, my yes. And John had to repeat it after when she hung up. Oh, my yes. He had to go right in that little rhythm. This hope for a better day is something that she, in her heart and soul, had to put together because she said, Mommy, why are those people on the street? Where do they live? Where do they go? How do they eat? So this is this 11, 12-year-old girl who's becoming aware that some people are really destitute. And she didn't feel, I don't have a job, I can't give them any money. I don't know what to do, I have to do something for them. So she started at lessons talking about how could she possibly do something to give back. I mean, it really motivated her soul. She's worked hard on a lot of songs she's performing today. And we talk a lot about making sure that you're breathing through the process. You're breathing through the process of singing so you have enough stamina to last a song, to last 2 songs in a row, to last a show, a gig. And she's worked really hard, and she is there. She is there today. This is going to be benefiting the Second Harvest food shelves. This is going to be benefiting the family center. I believe that homeless kids come to the family center for a type of a daycare so the parents can get jobs. I'm not as familiar, excuse me. It's my own tap water in the bottle. No. Anyway, and she came up with the title, Hope for a Better Day. I love her. I love her. She's impacting so many people. She's got some of her school friends that she's acted with coming to do a song that Mumford & Sons does called, I think it's called Home, actually. Not from The Wiz, but a different one. Make this place my home, right? It's so cute. It's going to close the show, and then she's going to come on and do Justin Bieber's Pray. Have you heard that song? Look it up if you haven't. The words are amazing. And you think, oh, Justin Bieber, why would I? Oh, my kids are teaching me so much. Oh my gosh. These lyrics are fantastic. Yeah, right on, Justin Bieber. It's all about how can I eat my dinner? How can I not finish my dinner tonight when there's homeless people who are starving? You know, those are some of the lyrics. And it's like, okay, sorry. I got total goosebumps thinking about it. So she's going to end the show with that, but I'm going to sing Home from the Wiz. I'm going to sing, we're going to do a little jazz together. We're going to do Blue Skies, Smiling at Me. You know, really cute. And I'm teaching her how to scat sing now. Yeah, she's going to do a Mother's Day show with me and Pippi Ardenia at the Landmark at 5 o'clock on Mother's Day in case anybody's looking for something to do. That'll be fun. But anyway, hope for a better day. What better example do we have than Emily? Oh my, yes. Really, seriously. She's so dang cute. And, oh, anybody on Facebook with me, you gotta go look at her picture because her mom sent a photo. I want to go back to Debbie Ford for just a second, just because I loved that she was so honest in that email that I neglected to read the rest of until Monday, when I learned of her passing. Because she reminded me of something. And that is how the first thing I can do is berate myself when somebody wants to do something for me. I can pick myself apart first instead of revel in the joy. And I'll give you my example. I got a phone call from a family member who also is a drummer you may have heard of. His name is Bobby Z. He was the drummer in The Revolution with Prince when they were first out. He's my husband's first cousin. And he almost lost his life to a series of heart attacks 2 years ago. Code blue, whole thing. He pulled through. And Stuart and I were there with his wife, helping with the language and communicating with the doctor so I could talk to his wife, because this has become a real passion of mine to help people going through heart-related things, heart health awareness, aortic health awareness, and you know, I'm probably involved in 3 or 4 things that are heart-related now where I volunteer my time. And anyway, he calls and he says, Patty. Bobby just moved his mouth a lot. But Patty, I got this thing I want you to do. And he's got this My Purple Heart benefit on March 9th at First Avenue. And it's going to be Maya Rudolph and Stokely Williams, Audrey Simone, Alexander O'Neill. Who was the guy that was on The Voice that almost won? Can't think of his name. Nicholas David. And he said, Patty, I want you to sing. What? Yeah. I just got to tell you this. I wanted you there last year. He pulled The Revolution back together for the first one. And they're not going to be doing that again this time. But he said, I want you to sing. And I want you to know this. American Heart Association is giving you an award for, it's called the Impact Award, for everything you've done for Go Red for Women. Because it is the leading killer. 10 years in its infancy of trying to spread the word, Go Red for Women. But they approached me 5 years ago, speak on their behalf. And I have been, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. And it's all about being important enough to yourself so you can live your gifts. I bring the whole thought in there, so you have to take care of yourself first, okay? Anyway, and he said, I want you to sing the greatest love of all. I believe the children of the future. He said, I want you to do that because this is my show, and I want to do what I want to do, and you've always touched my heart when you've sung that song, and Whitney Houston is no longer here, so I'd really like you to sing that song after I give you this award. And my husband was just about in tears because he thought that was so cool. He was so excited. And I kind of got stunned, and I said, oh my God, I have nothing to wear. I don't know how I'm going to look. How am I ever going to find something to wear because I just can't do it? And I don't know, can I sing that high anymore? I don't know if I can sing, in front of look where I went. Look where I went. Oh my God, the lessons are never through, you guys. They're never through. They always go, hello, I'm back. I have to put a name on for her. Let's see, I don't remember what I called her when I was taking the class with Debbie Ford, but she had a name, I can tell you. If you name those things, then you can say, okay, what are you here to tell me? So, it's really interesting how little things can stop us and make us forget to see our own light and forget to see how we show up in the world, and how, without our knowing it, we're touching other people's lives. You can be the Sues, you can be the Debbies, you can be the Emilys, and you might not even know you're doing it. But believe me, because you're here, you're a seeker. And you've made it your intention, probably your silent intention, to be that person on this planet, to be the change you wish to see in the world. Now, can you imagine if we stopped focusing on what in 30 seconds we know the junk that's going on in the world instead of, where's a good story once in a while? Please, thank you. I mean, I've been in the media long enough. Could we just have a couple of nice stories once in a while? That's why I'm really enjoying doing music right now. It's really fun. Music radio, that is. We are that change that we wish to see in the world. We're going to have bad days. We're going to have good days. We're going to have the Sue and the Vickies and the Emilys in our life to remind us, to shine a mirror of light back upon us. Because who we wish to be in the world, those people come into your life and they'll hold the mirror up for you in case you forget. And all of our relationships are mirrors of a part of us. And if it isn't necessarily a great positive part, you have an opportunity to heal that so that you're even more clear about the change that you wish to be and see in this world. So I'm not sure today, after coming and talking to you about Debbie, 2 more people have died. My husband is on his way to Detroit because his boss of 48 years just died of cancer. And his funeral and Shiva are tonight in Detroit. And I went to Detroit in June with my husband and finally met the man on the other end of the phone who had been battling cancer for 4 years and found everything. Test, whatever, every new test drug to try to stay alive long enough to be with his young children. He made it to see his son do his bar mitzvah. He has a younger daughter and an older son as well. But Doug was amazing. He always held the vision of hope. And that is a beautiful word, isn't it? The vision of hope. And the vision of hope, when we got to his house, he made Stuart stay on the landing outside. And he said, Patty, come in here. And he gave me the biggest hug. And it was a survivor hug. And it was that we knew how precious life was because we were reminded in a very big way. And then he let Stuart come in. But Doug has passed away, another wife of a great Hammond organ player in town. This has been a sad week. It's been a reminder week. It's been, I mean, they're happy. It affects us. It affects us. We're not immune. We're not immune because it makes you reevaluate. And on the week after my 6th anniversary, it really makes me think again about how fortunate I am. I have grandchildren. I've seen my kids get married and graduate. I'm caring for my mother who's 91 and brilliant but very frail. And life is amazing, and you get the rewards. You really do. So let it in. Don't have the first thing be that voice that I have, and take care of it if it does show up for you. You are the change. Be that change. Continue to be that change. Because you're amazing. We can feed the children, we can chew the babies, and we can house the people. Yeah, we can. Hope for a better day? Yeah, this community right in this space, that's what your intention is and your consciousness is. And I love being a part of it. So thank you for having me today. God bless. You are the change. You are. Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to not sing right now a meditation song. I would love to play something I recorded 10 years ago. And then just do one small thing Marianne Williamson has said, and I know you've heard it. So if you wouldn't mind just turning on Quiet Place, please.
Left behind.
invite you to reflect on some of the things I talked about today and about what being the change means to you, the change that you wish to see in the world. For those of you who are new to meditation, I invite you to feel that chair underneath you. And if you so wish, to close your eyes. And breathe. Recognize your breath as one that is relaxed. And invites the peace and the overflowing love that I feel in this room into your hearts. Feel the essence of God within you. Your light is because God is. And your outreach is because God is working through you. That energy of love that we call God. Feel that love come through the top of your head, into your body, circle around your heart, going down through your legs and your feet, and rooting with Mother Earth. That connection with Mother Earth and the love and the energy from above makes you a light worker that has no end. Feel that embracing who you are. And for just a minute, get your mind out of the busyness of your day, your weekend, your week, and just concentrate on breath for a moment. And that love that comes around your heart and wraps around your heart, the heart chakra, the fourth chakra, feel it getting stronger and bigger and emanating from who you are, the light and the wisdom of God. And recognize that you have this incredible potential as a loving child of God to go out into the world and to touch people's lives when you least expect it. You are the light workers. You are that change that you wish to see in the world. You are powerful, and you are love. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that frightens us the most. We ask ourselves, who am I? Who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Who are we? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do, and we are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Let your light so shine. And let it touch people. Don't edit yourself. Live your gifts. And know that you are love. Blessed be. And for those of you, on the count of 3, come back into this room. 3. You're feeling that chair be underneath you. Take a breath. 2. Your body is starting to wiggle, and remember that it's in this space. And 1. When you're ready, you may open your eyes. You are the light of the world. Thank you. All right. Like singing? I did this one of the first times I came here, I think. Can you pull it up just a little bit, please? Woo! Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Oh, time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Yes, I'm gonna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I'm going to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Fly right to the future. Gonna feed the babies, you know this, who don't have enough to eat. Shoe the children when those shoes on their feet. How's the people who are living on the streets? Oh yeah, there's a solution. Just let me fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I'm going to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Fly right into the future. 'Cause time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Oh, time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Oh, I'm gonna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I'm gonna fly like an eagle till I'm free. Fly right to the future. I'm gonna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle till my spirit carries me. I'm gonna fly like an eagle till I'm free. Shoe the children with no shoes on their feet. All the people living on the streets. Hey, hey, yeah, you know there's a solution. Yes, there is. Oh, oh, fly, fly, yeah, I'm gonna fly. Thank you very much. Thank you. One more song? I got some fun stuff coming up. My CD, I just want to tell you that I put out last fall. I don't know if I shared that with you. It's called The Very Thought of You, and it's out. It took me 7 years. I had the little health hiccup in there, and it's now available, and it's being played in over 150 markets in the United States and even in the top 10. So I'm really excited about that. And to see all the rewards of, thank you for spitting me back. And I have baby number 4, grandchild coming in April, and 3-month-old little, I have a mom of 4 boys, so I have 2 little granddaughters. Yes! And of course the oldest one is 3.5, and she does like to sing with her Grammy. She's my Grammy Award. And a 20-month-old little boy, his name is Colton, and so I feel so blessed. It's really fun. It's so different, you guys. You go, oh my God, those are my grandchildren. This is, what? It feels like your children, and then it's like, who are you? I know you. I feel like I've met you before. So anyway, as we do, so let's see if we can make a circle in here. And you guys are going to sing a tune that's been around forever. Except I got to cheat and look at the words. I'm so weird, you guys. I get all stressed out because I got to come and talk, and then I'm here, and it's just I memorize it's the consciousness, it's the flow. So, all right. I don't know which track that was, but it was the one that says karaoke. Put a little love. Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand. Put a little love in your heart. Oh, you see it's getting late. No, please don't hesitate. What? Put a little love in your heart. Sing, and the world, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Oh, another day goes by. Oh, still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. Yeah, you've got to jump in there, you know. If you want the world to know, we won't let hatred go. Put a little love in your heart. Here we go. And the world, and the world for you and me. Just wait and see. Key change. Wait and see. When you decide, kindness will be your guide. Sing it. Here we go. And the world, and the world, and the world for you and me. You just wait and see. I sell it now. Love in your heart. Yeah, yeah, I like that you guys are trying to dance and sing. That's pretty coordinated. Said put a little love in your heart. Ooh, yeah. Put a little love in. Oh my, yes. Put a little love in your heart. Thank you. God bless you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great week. And you know what? Get involved. Do you want to know more about it? Make sure you check out their website, okay? I'll see you soon. Thanks.